Hello everyone, this is Carrie from Celestial Forecasts with another reading for the collective. If you've been guided to this particular one, I'll be focusing on the question, why is there no contact? So taking a look at the situation, why you haven't heard from this individual, or have they already moved on? Let's go ahead and take a look at that energy and see what needs to present itself here. And hopefully I'll be able to tap into your situation and offer you some guidance. General advice as always, guys, so please do keep that in mind throughout the reading and only take the parts of it that do resonate for you and release the rest. I'll be focusing on these three decks here. The Grande Amore deck is by Maria of Mystic Rainco, and then the middle deck here is the 5D Love Messages by Calico Moon. And lastly, I'll go ahead and clarify everything with my tarot deck, the Valentine Connection Tarot. All right, guys, let's get into some messages here. Hello, Libra. How are you guys? So let's grab some cards here and see what it is that you need to know when it comes to this connection and why there is no contact between the two of you. Some of you guys might actually be thinking, you know, maybe they're with somebody else at this point, or for whatever reason, they're not reaching out. So let's find out. Angels and spirit guides, please, for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. What's the energy? Okay, so we have unlikable, feeling unwanted or unloved, feeling neglected. Now, this may or may not have anything to do with you. So I'm kind of getting here, Libra, that maybe your person has had some traumatic experiences in their life where they did feel that, you know, they were unloved, that they weren't receiving what it was that they were hoping for in the relationship. It doesn't necessarily just have to be in romantic partnerships either. This could be childhood traumas. It could have something to do with maybe romantic partnerships that went south, you know, and it just didn't work out, causing them to feel neglected. But it could also be an indication that this is how they made you feel, you know, made you feel unlikable, and they're now regretful of that, you know, regretful that they did neglect you and caused you to feel unwanted or unloved. Okay, so let's take a look and see. What else for Libra? All right, well, this is a solid message representing a third party, external influences, you know. So if there was a love triangle or third party drama here, Libra, that explains a lot as to why there is no contact right now. Somebody could be married. Somebody could already be in a other related, you know, committed partnership. It doesn't have to be marriage. So there's this obstacle that's standing in the way. All right, let's see what else. There could have been infidelity in this relationship as well. All right, what else here? We have locked down, faithful and loyal, committed. How interesting is that? Okay. So I can't help but feel that either you or the other person, somebody was locked down. Somebody had already committed to a partnership. They were committed there. They were ultimately faithful and loyal until this whole situation created maybe a tower moment with that third party. Oh boy, bottom of the deck, guys. I mean, this is painting a very particular message. Domesticated wifey or hubby material settling down. I'm getting here somebody was not ready to settle down, you know. There could have been other people in the mix, and that's what contributed to maybe a tower or some major challenges that are coming through here. So it doesn't always have to be infidelity or another person that comes between two people either. I've done readings for clients where that third element was something else. It could be family influences, like the family didn't approve of the relationship. It could be that they were so focused on their career that they didn't have time for the relationship. So, you know, take it however way it resonates, but for the most part, third party involvement has something to do with infidelity and the fact that somebody was unfaithful. Okay, but It's just interesting to me that we have that card locked down literally right between third party and wifey or hubby material with the domesticated card, faithful and loyal, committed. That was challenged. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we need to find out by way of words, communication from their 5D self. Libra, I can't help but feel that somebody was already committed elsewhere. And then here comes this third person to really mix things up. All right, here we go. So from their 5D self, Libra, what is it that they want to say to you? I'm feeling two people that really love each other, but there's an outside influence here. Oh, wow. I never told you how I really felt. And part of the reason why they never told you how they really felt is because there was somebody else in the picture. Again, it depends, you know, on what side of the fence you stand on when it comes to this storyline. Libra, were you the third party that came in and, you know, you met somebody that was already married or committed in a partnership, and that created a lot of drama, I feel, you know, or it could have been you that was married or in a committed partnership, and then here comes this extra person that comes in and really rock the boat, you know. All right. So this person definitely didn't open up their heart fully, but I feel there's a reason for that. Oh yeah, look at this. I still have more to learn from my karmic partner. So this is a very specific message for Libra, guys. Ex-partners, spouses, you know, however way it's coming through for you and how this makes sense. There are relationships that have been a part of your life where it has something to do with a karmic partnership. And there are some huge lessons to learn when it comes to that person. Wow. Okay. All right. I wasn't completely honest with you. Part of the deception I feel here is somebody either lied that they were in another relationship, or they just weren't authentic in how they interacted, you know. Lies, deceit, secrets. And that might have something to do with the karmic partner. It could also have been that one of you didn't really make that known. It's like you guys got to know each other, started to get close and starting to build a rapport, starting to develop the relationship, but maybe the person who was involved with somebody else didn't exactly say that they were involved with somebody else, if that makes sense, you know? It's like, hey, I really like you. Are you single? Can you date? Are you open? And maybe somebody said yes, when in fact they were already committed elsewhere. I don't know who that's for, but I'm kind of getting that as well. Okay. Let me grab one more. This is complicated, no doubt. Look at this. Okay, I'm not good at commitment. So Libra, you know, is this somebody that you interacted with where you know that that was a factor where they really weren't very good at commitment and therefore created a third party involvement? Or was it the other way around? This tells us so much, guys. Very complicated, not easy whatsoever. And so without even pulling any tarot messages, we understand why there is no contact, because they're in a situation, or you're in a situation, where other obligations and other connections are at play, you know? Interesting. I'm also getting some of you might be in connections, or maybe the person you're focused on for this reading could be in another relationship where they're just there to be there. They're just kind of going through the motions, but ultimately staying, you know, they choose to stay even if they might have some real legitimate feelings for you. Wow. So let's grab some tarot here. So for this particular reading, guys, it does seem that there's this huge element tied into a third party and why there is no contact. I feel if you've been needing clarity on that, it's continuing because the third party is still there. So whoever it is that you're interested in, they're unable to take action. They're unable to communicate, unable to create any sort of movement because that third party energy is there. Yep. Oh, this is interesting. We've got the Three of Pentacles. So collaboration, working together, you know, wanting the same things, having the same vision. It's impossible when two people are trying to make plans for their future, their relationship, and you throw a third person in there. It's very difficult actually to work as a team because that team just got a little bigger than how it should be, you know? Should be between the two of you, or certainly two people rather than three. Let's see what else. We do have the star. Some of you could be thinking of Aquarius here. You know, honestly, Libra, what I'm feeling, regardless of the fact that you and this person are at a distance from one another, clearly not interacting in the 3D. I mean, we do have 5D cards coming through here, but they can't be with you, but they're still wishing to be with you, if that makes sense. All right, let's see what else. Complicated, my goodness. Look at this, guys. We've got the Devil. Some of you guys could be thinking of a Capricorn here, and that's followed by the Eight of Wands. Okay. Now, for some of you guys, when you first connected, when you first met, things moved pretty darn fast. And what I mean by that is maybe you guys knew each other for just a few months, and maybe you guys felt like you had known each other forever. And also the physical connection, it could have gotten physical pretty quickly, you know. The Devil card can represent that temptation, you know, that craving. It's almost like such an intense desire that you can't help but go for it, you know. But it could be coming from a place of obsessiveness. And I can't help but feel, if you relate to this, that could have been how it was between the two of you. It was an addiction, you know, just a very addicted to each other. And so it moved rather quickly. So let me just read it from the side here, Libra, that you might have gotten involved with somebody who was either, again, married or already committed elsewhere. You might have gotten involved with this person knowing that it really could not go the distance because there was the complication of this third element, you know. You might still find, though, if you're drawn to this reading, that you still have maybe an obsessive way of thinking of this individual, maybe still wanting to be with them, even though they can't be with you. Or that could be reversed as well. All right, let's see what else. What else for Libra? We do have the Ace of Cups, you know, and this is such an interesting card to come forward, Libra, because it's telling you, as you might have gotten involved with this person, it's like crossing a boundary that you should not have crossed. And so when things played out between you and this person, you might have gone into it with a full cup, but when everything fell apart, that cup was drained dry, you know, and it could have happened to the both of you. So during this time apart, no contact, it's really important for you to focus on your own healing. That's what's going to help you restore your cup of love for yourself, to be able to heal from this whole experience and just prepare for better in the future. So this is giving you another opportunity. This is giving you a fresh start, but it starts with you, you know, to be able to kind of clean up the energetic mess that was created as a result of the drama, unfortunately, having to do with a third party. So I might just have to label this reading specifically for third parties, because that's what it ended up being about. It's not everybody's storyline, but it's coming through incredibly prominently for this reading, and that's just how I'm going to have to end this one. You know, you can have a new beginning, but there are complications and drama that need to be addressed and cleared out, you know? So either this is something that you can do for yourself, Libra, or it's just something that the universe will step in and help clear it up for you, you know? So it starts with self-love, for you to get to a point and a place where you love yourself enough to not get involved with the wrong people, getting yourself mixed up in scenarios that just aren't good for you. All right, guys, I am going to leave that right there. If you're interested in your own reading, that info is down below in the description box, and I will link all the decks you see here. Whoever this is for, I hope this offered you clarity that was much needed. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much. I'll catch you next time.